Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 31. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a look back at the Forex market, see what it threw at us here for the past week and how exactly we have been going. We are also now into the month of August, so that also means that we have a good chance of having a look at the entire month of July, see how well we did on the individual EAs. You'll be the first one to know, because in here you have obviously more than 4 weeks of profits, which EAs have actually delivered the best and what currency pairs on these particular EAs are the ones that continues to deliver. All of it we're going to reveal in this particular video here, including also one of the old EAs that we have. This is most probably one we bought about 2 or 3 years ago. We tried it out. We didn't really make any money on it. But in the recent times, now that the market has changed in the Forex market, there's a lot of trends going at the moment here. Basically, again, down to some of the US trade agreements where things are really moving and not very sideways for the past month or two. So in this particular one here, we actually testing the old one. We got some very astonishing results where we get all the way up to 100% win rate, very, very good cash-ins and also low drawdown at the same time. In this particular video, I'm going to show you the first backtesting results that we have done, because again, we have managed to basically run the numbers in a different way that we are used to, and that seems to be paying off, especially on this particular EA in here. We also have a video that we released last week. That one seems to be very popular. This is another EA that we are currently running on, and I'm going to explain a bit more about it also in the video here, what you can actually expect later on in the program. We also have to cover Expert Forex, and there is really some bad news coming out, unfortunately, from Alex here at the moment. Exactly what it is and how it's going to affect some of the premium forum members in here, I'm also going to try and explain to you a bit later on in the program. So there's a lot of things we have to go over today. So a lot of good news, but unfortunately also something bad. Part of the good is definitely our copy link service. As usual, we're going to give you some of the best links that we have in here. We always sorted them out. And we, in this particular week here, has actually done it slightly different instead. And that seems to still produce some very, very good results in here that you can use. That also means there's even more links that you can basically use. And what we are recommending in here that has basically produced really good numbers over the past 8 weeks. So let's get into it. Let's see exactly how the Forex market treated us in the last week. So this week we're going to start off with the Wave Liberator for the month of July. We have the top 5 EAs in here. And strangely enough, the US Japanese is actually number 1. Big volatility in here actually made it up with $149 or 14.9%. So that is a very good achievement, even in a slow market. But obviously the US dollar is quite volatile at the moment. So that definitely picks up a bit of the profits. We also see the Swiss francs in here together with the Great British pounds at $86 or 8.6%. And then it goes all the way down to the Great British pounds Japanese at $63, 6.3%. And overall for the top 5 EAs in here, we managed to get $441 or 8.8%. And again, that is a very good month, but these are also the top EAs here at the moment cashing in. So the numbers are looking a bit low, as I mentioned earlier on in the program. Overall, the Forex trading is still very, very good. So for the Wave Liberator, you can see how nice and smooth the graph is. It has dropped a bit, as you can see at the end. But we are looking good. Close profits is at 42,000. Floating profit or loss only down at 11,500. That has also come down in the last week. Monthly returns is around 10% on a $1,000 account, 2% on the weekly one, and a trade win of 68%. So still doing quite well. Trades per day slowed down a bit to 12.6. But look at our history, 713 days. To the people that think that grid trading can't work over long periods of time, that is definitely very, very valid point here now that things can happen. It just has to be done the right way. Now the profits you can see for the month here, 1,067, and obviously that's a huge drop compared to prior months. We have seen a couple of months here back in 1500s, then 2,400 in April, so where we had the high volatility with the US. We would like to get back to the 1500s, which we believe is more the number that is the average type. So let's hope that August is going to be the month. Same here for the RSI Liberator for the month of July. We have a couple of good ones in here, Swiss francs, Japanese. So again, both Swiss and Japanese currencies are up, $109, 10.9%. And then Great British Pounds, also Swiss francs in here, $105 and 10.5%. Overall, we have $469 coming in and an average for this top 5 portfolio of 9.4%, which is, again, very, very good. But considering that these are some of the best EAs, we will normally see that a bit higher, and hopefully for the next couple of months. We also have the RSI portfolio in here doing quite well. Close profits more than 27,000, floating profit or loss minus 12. So as always with the grid trading EAs, we have this dragging along, and that will continue forever and ever. Monthly returns in here is around 8%, so that has gone down a bit. Weekly returns around 2%. Trade wins still strong, also with 66%, and obviously a lot of pips, 35,476 pips taken. Trades per day, 14.6. So that is not too bad. And with a history of 482 days, then there's definitely plenty of data in here. But we can also see that the profits for this particular EA is low, below 1,000 here for the first time, 938. We are used to having it a bit higher, as you can see, similar to the Wave Liberator. So it has been a very, very slow month, and the numbers here actually show it. Same here for the Hedge EA. Also for the month of July, this time around, it's the Great British Pound, Swiss francs on top with $102 or 10.2%. And then there's a sharp drop down here to the Great British Pounds, AUD, with $54, 5.4%. And overall, this particular portfolio in here with a heavy load of Swiss francs, 3 of them in total, $303 or 6.1%. And again, very, very disappointing numbers, not what we are used to. In here also we have the Hedge EA that took a hit back then with the floating profit or loss still being bigger than the closed profits. That had something to do again with the tariffs back in April, where we cashed in quite nicely. After that, smoothed out again, and they still have to make the closure, which is going to take a long time. But the trade wins are still overall 70%. Trades per day 14, and now a history of 196 days, so well over half a year. Still makes it a profitable EA. But as you can see, after the big cash in here, it has tried to recover. And it also shows that the profitability of this particular EA has actually gone down until the prices are sort of kind of reaching the level where it can close some of the old trades overall. So when it comes to the grid trader from the month of July, very, very strong numbers in here. Swiss francs Japanese is on top with $174, so 17.4%. So very, very good numbers, very good EA here also. The total part for the top 5 EAs in here of portfolio is $677 or 13.5%. And that is definitely something to write home about. Very, very good and strong, even though the market is not optimum at the moment for these particular EAs. When we have a look at the overall numbers in here, we can see that this is the grid trader for the generation 4 that we now have. It seems to be doing quite well. Look at the floating profit or loss, minus 2,357. Closed profits is now more than 5,148 in here, so it's doing extremely well. However, the monthly return, it is a bit disappointing because we saw some very, very good numbers in the beginning, somewhere around the 15-20%. But when we are starting testing and when we are actually cashing in on it, basically the profit is a bit lower. And obviously we are trying to squeeze a bit more out of it, 8%, but at a very low drawdown. So that is still very good with the weekly returns of almost 2%. Trade wins are high with 73. and then plenty of pips taken, trades per day. It's quite active EA, as you can see here, 19.5, history 109 days. So it's actually doing very well and very strong. And also on our website, you can see the latest ones that have now been added to the coupling service. These are the individual currency pairs. All you have to do is click the link. You get to the FX Blue sites in here, and then you can see the exact results. Overall, the portfolio has also dropped a bit on the profit side. As you can see, it was a good trading day on Friday for a lot of these EAs, but it couldn't make everything up. So $852 is everything the portfolio could actually do. And there's 20 of them in here. We are hoping we're getting back into the 1500 mark. That would be really lovely. Obviously double the profit as we have seen for this particular month. Now, I mentioned earlier that I was going to go through a couple of videos. This is a very popular video that I made last week in here, and this is about the simple RSI trader and how actually we have some that we not only by backtesting can do 100% on win rates, but some of them have actually traded for more than a month and had quite a few trades in here and still coming out with 100% win rate. Again, as I mentioned a bit earlier on, that this can be more of a sideways EA, this particular one in here. If things are trending, then you will have some drawdowns, and you most probably also, because it works with take profit and stop loss, you will have some losses. Obviously, the 100% will most probably not be forever. That is the way the Forex market works. But at least so far, we have some very good and very stable results. And even if it should drop to around 90%, that is well enough to make sure that we are continuous to make money on this particular one. So if you haven't seen this video yet, I'm going to make sure that the link is in the description below, and you can see exactly how we do it and how we actually get to it, because it is very, very similar to what I'm going to tell you now. We have dusted off one of the old robots that I had basically worked out and actually trading for 2 or 3 years ago. In here, I couldn't really get it to work, but we now see some new wins. Basically, we are running some back testing, and then we are crunching the numbers in a different way that we did before in order to get the very, very good results. And the first results, I promised to share that with you here today, and it looks like this. As you can see, there's quite a few trades in here, and most of the time, because of the blue line here, that's the profit line, and the green line is the equity line, you can actually see that the account is in plus most of the time. There's a small little area in here, and if we have a look at the first numbers, initial deposits, these are tested on $1,000 accounts. You can see the total trades is actually 196 in here, so it's not like it's 10 or 15 trades that are just 100%. Nope. We have the maximum drawdown here of 16.22%, so we're happy with that. Profitable trades, 196 or 100. Losing trades, 0. And again here, consecutive wins, 196, none lost. Now this is actually the make money EA, but this is not the set and forget part. So this is very much the original one. And that seems to have exactly what we need to get these things going. For this particular test in here, you can see that we are using the Great British Pounds Japanese. So we need some trending currency pairs. And the most trending is normally also where you will find the best results, and at the same time also the highest profit return. We are actually running this on a 5-minute chart. So that means there's obviously a lot of things happening once it starts trading. But the whole idea is it's going to stay quiet. It's not going to trade anything until all the conditions are right. And what we've done again is we used a very quick setting first to find all the settings. So basically open price. Afterwards, we confirmed it with every tick to make sure that it is 99.9% accurate. And again, all the numbers that I showed you here before for the drawdowns, for the total trades in here, that looks extremely good. And the first ones have actually gone already on live accounts. And I'm obviously going to show you the results as things are coming in. But again, this is a test that was started off so earlier in the year, so basically 1st of January. and then all the way here to August. That means there's about 6 months of testing in here. And with 196 trades, then it doesn't mean also that it doesn't trade all the time, but it will be interesting to see how well it's going to be doing in the future. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at the Lucky Trader for the month of July. The Lucky Trader normally does quite well, and the Euro USD is the best one in here with $133 for the month, or 13.3%, so very, very good. But then you have a sharp drop to the next one, the Euro CAD, comes all the way down at $74, 7.4%, and then the entire portfolio here made up $375 or 7.5%. Again, a bit disappointing, so for the entire month. And when we have a look at it, you can also see here the monthly returns is around 11% on $1,000 accounts, 3% on the weekly. Trade wins very, very close to 70%, and trades per day is around 14.7, with now a history of 274 days. So it is doing quite well, but the entire portfolio is low. We saw it back in May with 834 because of the high drawdown that actually came in April. For the month of June, we actually got some of it back, and now it has dropped even further down, which is very unfortunate. So let's hope that the month of August is going to be the one where everything is cashing in and going straight back to high profits. Now, I mentioned earlier on that we're going to talk about a new EA that Alex has already sent out a few videos on, and this particular one is actually catching the turning points, and it was so good on for the Bitcoin it was, and for indices, things like this, that it was at 100% success rate. Unfortunately, it looks like outside companies have actually also seen the video, been very impressed. And basically what I can understand from Expert Forex and from Alex is that most probably this is never going to end up as a commercial success. It's basically going to be sold off. So very, very unfortunate. I know there's a lot of people in the Expert Forex Premium Forum that would have liked to have seen and tested this particular one, because it looked extremely good and very, very accurate. And it is a shame. But at the end of the day, of course, it is up to Alex how he wants to do this. Hopefully there will be something similar in the future that can create some very, very good results for us. In the meantime, well, you can use our copy link service that we have in here. As before, I'm going to take the Excel that the Expert Forex are making. We are doing the floating profit of loss. I don't want to see anything over $300, and you can see they are quite low in here. Then we also have the total negative weeks in the last 8 weeks. I don't want to see more than 300 in there either, and certainly there is not. They're also very, very low. Then we have return on total drawdown. That is 200. And again, all these numbers are quite high. Then we put the gains from high to low, and you can see from 9 all the way up to 41%. All the links over here is the ones you can actually already linked up to today. You don't have to understand much about trading other than simply just copying the link in here and then counting the money at the end of the day. Now, I did a change, as I mentioned in the beginning of my video, and the only one I actually did was the return on total drawdown. Instead of 200, I just said, okay, anything above 100, because when I had a look through some of the links in here, I actually found that, oh, there was a lot of them that were doing quite well, even though the return on total drawdown was not there. And you can see the first one, 122, that would normally be excluded, is linked 257C in here. And that has gained 43% in the last 8 weeks. So obviously it would be a shame not to include those. You'll have more down here also, link 256. And again, 126, that doesn't mean that it doesn't do well. Look at the floating profit of loss, only minus 24. And even though it has number 4 negative weeks, it doesn't really matter too much, because the maximum drawdown was minus 68. And with a profit of 28%, doing quite well. You can see the numbers all the way down to the end. We have some here, 143, 146. And they are still doing quite well. They have very, very low drawdowns, minus 18 and 28, so that's good. And floating profit of loss currently also pretty much rock steady. but they are still cashing in. Some of them haven't been on for that long, 2%, 4%, 6 and 5. Sorry, we have to go over, this was the best week, yeah? So here we have to go for the total gains in the last 6 weeks. So that was 4, 9, 9, 10. So very good numbers all the way through. So I think I'm going to set it up in this way instead, because you'll get a lot more links in here, and it is still rock steady over what kind of profits that you can get without having too high of a drawdown. So this is what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, the profits are still coming in. The EAs are working well. Yes, the profit is not where we want it to be, but this is in the summer month, and we have seen that many years before, except for last year, where there was certainly some turmoil. But the profit is there, and as soon as the traders are coming back from vacation, the volatility, everything else will obviously kick alive again, and hopefully we will see even more profit coming in. I will also share a couple of videos in the future for the money-making EA in here on the new settings, so you can actually see what it is that we're doing, how we are setting things up. Those particular videos here seems to be of high interest, also because of the Forex market has changed quite a bit. So you have more trending currencies now, which is not so good for the grid trading EA. So this is a very good supplement also to the simple RSI trader, because that one is also a bit more on the sideways part. Good to have everything actually covered, and you can expand your portfolio over time also with these new EAs, and basically lower your risk by doing so at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a thumbs up and a comment, and I hope to see you on one of my next videos. Until then, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.